We are going to talk about the top 10 NFL concerns for teams heading into this season that can potentially derail their season. So these are 10 storylines, takes, whatever it might be. You phrase it, we elaborate, we talk about it. But it's 10 things that might happen to the team that can derail their season. You know, they might have Super Bowl aspirations, they might have playoff aspirations, and if this particular thing goes down, it's going to ruin their season. And we've made a list, and we have some that we're going to bounce back and forth. Do you want to lead us off?
Yeah, I could start off. I think one of the more, I guess, enigmas right now, and they're always in the headlines because they are quote-unquote America's team, even though they're really not America's team because most of America dislikes them. But it's not just how they're going to replace the players they lost, but just the Dallas Cowboys, how are they going to deal with this likely regression? So the Cowboys had a plus 14 turnover margin last year. Ironically, it was them and the Colts, which is very bizarre. The fact that neither team, Colts, didn't even make the playoffs. The Cowboys got bounced at first round. Like, these teams had such high turnover margins, yet they didn't quite play up to expectations.
And we've mentioned this in the past. This isn't something you can expect the Cowboys and the Colts to be plus 14, to even be plus 5 heading into next year. It's unless you have a special defense like the Legion of Boom, the Palomalu Steelers, like if you the Ravens,
yeah.
If you have like a iconic defense, then yes, we don't know what this defense is going to be like. But I agree with what you're saying.
And because you can't bank on Trayvon Diggs having double-digit interceptions. You can, I think, bank on Micah Parsons causing mayhem because he's just that good of a player. But how the Cowboys deal with that regression is going to be big because yes, they could have like a positive turnover ratio, but it's not going to be that high again. And they're going to be playing a first-place schedule, and they got to make up for a lot of losses, whether it's Amari Cooper, Randy Gregory. Like, those, I think, are two big ones.
Gallup until November.
Yeah.
Cedric Wilson, who anytime he would come in for a Cooper or a Lamb or Gallup, he would have like 3 for 120 and a touchdown. You're like, what the hell?
And they still have to try to find the best ways to utilize Zeke because of that contract, even though I think it's probably going to be last year's Zeke there, but they're still managing that. So just in general, like, how they're going to make up for the losses defensively and then offensively still, because they have this reputation of being like this high-power offense, when I think it's not quite at that level. Like, they're a good offense, but I don't think they're high-power. I think they're very front-heavy. Like, they have their star power, but the depth is a concern, and then after this offseason, I think it's a real concern. So, but ultimately, it's just if they can't force turnovers and Dak is a little iffy with the ball, I could see their season crumbling pretty quickly.
I would call the Cowboys an efficient offense.
They're efficient, yeah.
Because I felt like they would get turnovers with like Trayvon Diggs, and then like 2 plays later they'd score a touchdown. Like, it was very methodical. Dalton Schultz had a big year. Tony Pollard, things like that. But I agree, man. It's just something I always look at that when I'm looking at like handicapping what a team is going to look like next year. Talking about it from a betting perspective, just like your record in 1-score games. You can't expect to go 8-1 if you went 8-1. You also can't expect to go 1-8. Sometimes the ball doesn't bounce your way. We talk about that all the time. Turnover margin is another one, and then strength of schedule. So I don't know exactly what their 1-score record is. I believe it was like 5-3, but that's about the norm. If you're like 500, that's a good thing. But you're right, man. I'm with you. I think that's one that could definitely derail their season, especially when I was talking about this on the NFC East pod with Impy. I feel like they're the only team that got worse in that division. Giants definitely got better.
Absolutely. Eagles got better. Washington, I don't know where to fall on them. I think there it is what it is.
But
I can't really say they got better.
That's true.
Like,
yeah.
Like, what besides Wentz, what other noble moves they made? I can't even, off the top of my head, like, what did they really do in the offseason? I feel like it was a very quiet offseason. Like, okay, they somewhat upgraded QB, but we know Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
No, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I don't think they got worse. They definitely didn't get worse, I'll say that. But,
a lot of question marks.
yeah, but Dallas definitely got worse. There's no way getting around it. Like, they got hit hard this offseason. I think everyone kind of knew, especially with the whole Randy Gregory situation. If they would have kept Randy Gregory somehow, I would be feeling a lot better because he was a huge difference maker for them last year, and I just felt he was like a real strong piece of that D-line with Lawrence and Parsons rushes as well.